there, Back to Basics Weight Loss Surgery channel. This is Maggie. I'm your Friday vlogger, and I'm just barely getting it in, people. Yeah, I actually completely forgot that this was Friday. It's been kind of one of those weeks. It was my birthday, yeah, on Tuesday. The one I was kind of dreading because I turned 60 and I put a whole lot of stupid fear and energy into it, thinking, oh my gosh, that's old. Well, look, people, this is not old. I actually just completely wiped the floor with everybody else in my Zumba class because I did two in a row. People don't do that. They look at me and they're like, oh my God, you're putting me to shame. So that's not old. This heart isn't old. This brain isn't old. This spirit isn't old. I'm actually little Maggie, the same one. You know, like, you're always in there. You're that same person, you know? And I realized that. I did realize that. And at work we went out to lunch. I actually had, we went to lunch at one of those Japanese places where the person cooks, the chef comes out and cooks on a grill right in front of you, kind of like Benihana. But it was called Koto, and it's a place that all the people at work love. Most of the guys I work with mainly love going a place where they can drink to excess, and this was no exception. Before they left, went there a half hour before my boss was due. Our boss was due to arrive, so they could order multiple bottles of sake. I've never had sake before. I'm really not much of a drinker, although those of you that hung out with me in Vegas at the meet and greet would think otherwise. Peer pressure, people. It was peer pressure. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I've never tasted sake before. It was interesting. Then, because it was my birthday when the chef was cooking, she made me open my mouth so she could attempt to throw little pieces of fried rice in my mouth, most of which failed and landed all over my person and the area around me. Then, the final time that I held my mouth open, she suddenly lifted a plastic squeeze bottle and filled my mouth entirely full of sake. Well, as you know, we people who have had weight loss surgery tend to feel our alcohol very rapidly. And yeah, I was sitting there pretty sawzled for the rest of the meal. Well, at least for about a half an hour, because as you also know, when we get intoxicated like that, it wears off really fast. It was fun. It was a nice day. And that day, like every other day, I did my Zumba. I am very proud of the fact that, for example, this week, while I am indulging in all kinds of carbs and being completely off plan, one thing has not changed at all, and that is I do my exercise. I do strenuous exercise. I exercise until I sweat and until I hurt, and even though many people might have thought about taking the day off from doing that on their birthday, for me it was a true celebration of attaining another year to exercise a lot and to feel the burn and the sweat. I also had my husband come with me. Now, one of the things, since I'm in the middle of a complete carbapalooza, I'm not feeling like I'm a very good role model for all of you, other than the fact that I'm fine with it. It's my birthday week. It's something I planned. I maybe didn't plan to come in with it with my weight still a little high from Vegas, because as you know, I did experiment with adding fruit to my diet without counting the carbs from it, and it was an epic fail. But I'm fine with it because this is life. This is living life. And I'm strong enough in my willpower and in my knowledge of what I need to do to stay focused and to stay happy. And that is to return to the rules as soon as these few days are over. But interestingly, although I'm not being a great role model right now, I want to suggest something to you that I'm looking into. A wonderful woman who has been part of Back to Basics and who was in Transformation Academy in my classroom last semester, and whom I adore for many other reasons, because she models some really great spiritual practices and just a beautiful approach to life. Her name Rayla. She's been known by various different names on Facebook. Rayla Awakening was one of them, and right now she's calling herself Low Carb Rayla. Now the reason is that she has been experimenting with a very ultra low carb, high fat diet that she has been investigating. And I am very intrigued about this because it pretty much fits in with a lot of the rules that we've been told to follow by our physicians. And she, in her experiment with doing it, which intriguingly enough meant that she actually switched from being a vegetarian to not being a vegetarian because it was really hard for her to get the amount of protein and fat that she needed any other way and to lower her carbs enough. She has lost something like 16 pounds in a few weeks and has discovered that she is very carb sensitive, which I also believe I am. Obviously, if just adding some fruit made all the difference for me, I am probably one of those people too. And she is finding that she's not craving food. She's never hungry. She's changing her relationship with eating and with food in a very dramatic way. I find this very intriguing, don't you? And the thing is this girl has not had surgery. So she struggles without having a tool, the tool that we've all been blessed enough to have been given, because financially she doesn't have insurance and she can't afford it. She, leads a pretty stressful life as a caregiver for her Angel, her daughter who's disabled. She has very limited funds, and it's not the easiest life for her, and so she, as an emotional eater, has reason to have trouble with the whole food thing, like we all do. And I am just so happy for her. First of all, love you, Rayla, because I know you watch my videos. That she is finding that she's able to have a better relationship with food and not care about it so much and to not be so driven to eat the wrong things. And not only am I happy for her, but I'm also intrigued about this as a plan that I want to investigate. Now I'm hoping, Rayla, that you will post it here underneath my video. And sometimes YouTube doesn't really allow you to post links. So I would love it if you would also post your information about this, the various videos that you've linked me to, and that wonderful book that you have the PDF for. If you'd put that in Back to Basics, I think people would really grok on that. And it's just an intriguing thing, and I do believe when I go back on plan next week that is what I'm going to try, just to see how that works for me. She even has some great tips about how to avoid that notorious carb detox that is so hard to get through, that sometimes we can't get through with the grouchiness and the upset and the food cravings. She uses ginger root tea and water in order to help with that. So Rayla, thank you for giving me a topic when I'm busy having my Carbapalooza and not being the greatest model. And people, sorry I'm late, but I will be back again next week, and I'll have some report of my own about this. Sorry I'm shaking the camera. I'll have a report of my own about how this works for me. So until then, this is the birthday girl saying I love you. I adore all of you, actually, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.